Yes guys, this is Niddy Last and welcome. In this video what we're going to be doing is another stealth class setup video, and this time guys we are going to be focusing on the ICR-1. I will say this is after the very latest patch 1.07 in regards to what they've done is reduce the recoil and everything else once again, because this gun has been patched quite a few times and they have taken away the very little recoil that it actually has. And even though it is pretty much a laser beam, for me personally, it still does lack just that little bit. I have put that in a previous video where I did an experiment with the ICR-1. I will leave a link down in the description down below for you guys to go and check that out. But what we're going to be focusing on is running this in a particular stealth class. And what we're going to be talking about is obviously the attachments, the perks, the specialists, and then also the kind of playing style along with the game mode that I would highly suggest that you're going to be trying to run this on. So let's first of all take a look at the actual attachments that we've got on with this weapon. And we've got quick draw. Obviously we'll be getting that weapon up as fast as we possibly can, as I've explained plenty of times in previous video. But the next one is going to be rapid fire. Now the thing with this particular weapon for me straight away is it has a lot less damage than other particular ARs in this class. It really does lack in this particular department, and the fire rate's not that amazing on it. So in regards to that, we're going to be needing to try to get as many bullets hitting the target as fast as possible to try and down that enemy. So straight away, rapid fire for me is pretty much a must on this particular gun. Then we're going to be sticking on extended mags, obviously because we're going to be running through those bullets at a faster rate. We don't have to be worrying about reloading if we come across 2-3 enemies all at once. So with that extended mags, it's going to give us a better chance to put multiple enemies down at once. Then we're going to be moving on, as you can see, because it's a stealth class, we're going to be sticking on the suppressor. Now with the suppressor, obviously it's going to decrease the range just a little bit on this gun, but for me personally to actually run this in a stealth class, these are all the attachments. I'm not going to be sticking on long barrels to try and make up for the suppressor or anything else like that. I need to have some more room for some perks. Now I did try it plenty of other different ways, but I found this was the best way to be running this in a stealth class with these kind of attachments. So long barrel did have to take a bit of a fall against this kind of thing, and obviously as you're seeing, I'm quite happy with the iron sights. I'm not going to be worrying about sticking on an elo sight or a red dot sight or anything else like that. So this is the best way with the attachments wise, I would suggest. Then we're going to be moving obviously into the ghost perk. This is going to keep us off the mini map. This is mainly what this series is based around. Then we're going to be going with fast hands on the next one. Now this one, because of the playing style, which I'm going to get into in a minute, you can swap out in for scavenger if you want. You don't have to be running with fast hands. Obviously for me, it's going to complement the quick draw. If we do come up against enemies quite quickly, we are going to be able to get that weapon up a lot faster. Then we're going to be moving on to the last one, which is going to be dead silence as well. Now personally, I just like to be hearing my footsteps quiet. I want to be concentrating on where the enemies are and everything else like that, and then I find that a lot easier. Now this one, because of a stealth class, you can swap it out for blast suppressor. Maybe you like jumping around just a little bit more, trying to get from point to point, so that might suit your player's style just a little bit more. But for me personally, it's going to have to be dead silence all the way. And as you can see by this particular gameplay at the moment, you're going to have to play quite passive with this particular gun. It really does still lack for me in the department, so you're going to have to be trying to be as sneaky as you possibly can, making sure you're picking the right shots at the right time. You don't want too many people turning on you once, because it does take a little bit of time to actually down the enemies compared to other assault rifles like the KM44 and things like that. So for me personally, you're going to have to be holding it back to, in particular areas. You don't want to get up into too close quarters, especially if you're coming up against people with VMPs or anything else like that. So for me, this is definitely a best suited style if you like playing a little bit more passive, a lot more slower. This is probably then the better way of a gun class for you to actually be using. Now personally for me, the best type of game mode that I would say running with this on has got to be team deathmatch. Obviously it's a lot slower most of the time compared to other actual game modes in this class. Now I've tried this actually on hardpoint, kill confirm, things like that, but because people are rushing around using SMGs and that, I found myself to become very unstuck. So there's other certain stealth classes that for me personally work a lot better, say like the HVK and the KM44 that are on my channel. If you want to go and check them out as well, guys, they work a lot better for actually down an enemy. So for me personally, if you're playing like a faster paced game, hard point, domination, things like that, where you've got to be running around a lot more, I would probably swap it out. But for team deathmatch, this kind of class setup does quite well, as long as you are playing quite passive. So coming up on your screen now is the actual class setup. Like I say with this one, as you're seeing on your screen at the moment, you can swap out fast hands. As I was going on then, I did actually run out of bullets. Now what I do find with this particular gun is because I'm trying to melt people away, and it does take those few extra shots to actually down particular enemies, especially when I'm shooting at longer ranges, because I haven't got long barrel and I've got a suppressor on. It does take that few extra bullets, so you can rinse through it. So if you could play a bit more passive, you can swap it out, maybe stick scavenger on instead and just run with that. This is the reason why I've got scythe on. This is the specialist that I tend to be running with. That way, because if as soon as I start running out of bullets, I can just switch to the scythe. That's going to be able to shoot people down quite easily if I can't find a weapon to pick up along the way. So you can swap out, you know, different kinds of specialists and maybe swap out a couple of the different perks along the way if you so wish. But for me personally, definitely the attachments wise, you want to be sticking to this if you want to be running this in a stealth class. But coming up on my screen now, guys, is going to be my subscribe button. Make sure you jump in on that. I got loads more things, got stealth series and everything else that's going on my channel. And guys, you can smash that like button to support me. That'd be even better. This is Nearly Last, and I'll catch you later.